So in today's session, we are going to discuss about onSubmit client script use cases. Okay. Whenever the form is loaded, onload client script will run. Whenever you change the value on a particular field, onChange client script will run. Whenever you try to submit the form, the onSubmit client script will run. Every time when you try to submit the form, okay, let me just go to the finance case form. Guys, please inform in the group that session has started. Okay. After filling in the field values, what you will do, you will try to submit the form. Every time when you try to submit the form, the onSubmit client script will run. Okay. Getting my point? Okay. In this form, we have hidden the attachment icon. Do you remember that? So we will enable the attachment icon, guys. So I'm actually enabling the attachment icon. So earlier it was there, we have hidden it. So now you will be able to see attachment icon here, guys. If there is no attachment, I have to stop the form submission. Getting my point? If there is no attachment, I have to stop the form submission. Okay. So there is no option to make attachment mandatory. This is not a field, right? This is not a field. There is no option to hide it mandatory. We have to make it mandatory only through client script. So in the onSubmit client script, when we submit the form, we will check attachment is there or not. If the attachment is there, we will allow them to submit. If the attachment is not there, we will stop the form submission. Getting my point? Okay. If the attachment is there, let us say now I am actually attaching an attachment here, guys. So now there is an attachment. If I try to submit this form, it should allow me to save the form. If there is no attachment, it should stop the form submission. Okay. Well, guys, remember in ServiceNow, whenever you attach something, attachment, any file you attached, now I attached a file, right? Wherever you attach the file, those attachments will be stored in a table called sysattachment table. In the sys attachment table, all the attachments are stored here. You attach any attachment in ServiceNow. Finally, it will come here. File name. What is the file that you have added? The file type is that Excel sheet. This is content type. Okay. Table name. So if you add this file in the incident record, it will actually show the incident table name, incident system ID here. Table name means incident table name. Table system ID means incident record system ID. So now you are actually attaching an attachment to the finance case record, right? Now I am actually attaching an attachment to the finance case record. So now I attached an attachment, right? Now you go to the sys attachment table, you can see that attachment here. Table name is finance case table name. This is the record system ID. Finance case system ID. We have just now uploaded the file. Every attachment that you attach in ServiceNow will be stored in the attachment table. Okay. Fine. This point is clear, right? So requirement is whenever you try to submit the form, if the attachment is there or not, I have to check. If the attachment is there, I have to submit the form. If the attachment is not there, I have to stop the form submission. To stop the form submission, to allow the submission, we should write onSubmit line script. Okay. Okay. So attachments are there in the server, right? These are there in the server. I am going to create a onSubmit line script here. Right click, configure client scripts. Okay. OnSubmit. So whenever you select onSubmit line script, the onSubmit function will be populated here. So here, first of all, I have to check if the attachment is attached or not in the attachment table. Attachment table is there in the database, right? So that means if the attachment is attached or not, I have to check it in the database. For that, we have to use glide Ajax. Okay. Firstly, I am going to the background script. Okay. I am going to write a glide record on the attachment table. Where gr this underscore attachment table. Table name is u underscore finance underscore case. So this form system ID, you can get it using system ID is not generated. System ID is not generated, but is still there in the form. Okay. So I'm going to take the system ID of this particular form by using Control Shift J. G underscore form dot get unique value this is the system ID. Gr dot add query table system ID, comma. Okay. So if gr dot next, if the record is there, it will say true. Okay. If I run this one, attachment is there, it will say attachment exists. If there is no attachment, it will say attachment doesn't exist. It is saying attachment exists. Okay. It is telling attachment is there. Okay. Attachment is there is what it is giving the output here. If I delete the attachment from here, okay, we'll go to the attachment table. If the record is there or not, we'll see. Okay, that attachment is not there. So this time it should say no attachment found. Attachment doesn't exist. Getting my point? Okay. I am going to take this particular script out. I am going to write the script in the script include. Okay. So we have already created one script include, right? This is the script include that we already created. In this script include, I am going to create a method. I am going to create a method here. Okay. So in this, I am writing here, guys. Okay. So here, what I am doing is var status is equal to empty. Okay. Status is equal to attachment. Status is equal to no attachment. Okay. Finally, I am returning the output status. Okay. This system ID should be dynamic, right? This dot get parameter sysparam underscore case I am giving. Save this one. So in the onSubmit line script, I am going to write a glide ajax here. In the glide ajax, you have to call the script include name first. The method name, the custom parameter, g underscore form dot get unique value. Hmm? In the callback function, if you get no attachment, okay, here if you in the callback function, if you get this out no attachment, okay. So we have to show an error message that attachment is mandatory. Attachment is mandatory. We have to stop the form submission, right? Stop the form submission, we will use return false. Return false will stop the form submission. This is very important. Return false will stop the form submission. In the onSubmit client script, you write return false, it will stop the form submission. And one more thing, in the onSubmit client scripts, the form has to wait. As the form has to wait, we have to use synchronous call. If you use asynchronous call, form will not wait, right? If you use asynchronous call, I'm using callback function. Callback function, using callback function is nothing but using asynchronous call, right? So it will not wait. If it is not waiting, it will actually submit the form first. Okay. So that is why in the onSubmit client scripts, you should use synchronous calls. Synchronous calls means we have to remove the callback function. Okay. Where response is equal to GA dot get answer. Okay. So every time when you are actually trying to submit the form, it will check for attachment. Okay. So I'm going to just refresh the form now, so that this onSubmit client script will be applied on the refreshed form. There is no attachment. Trying to submit the form. It is still actually submitting the form. That means our script is not working. Where are we missing? You have to use get XML wait here. Hmm? Why didn't you speak out, guys? Well, I'm doing the mistake. I have a lot of problems. Do you have same? Do you have many problems with you? That we already changed, right? Get answer, we changed it, but we forgot to change this one. Just refresh this one. I'm trying to update it to in progress. I'm trying to submit this one, right? What is it telling? Attachment is mandatory. It has stopped the form submission. I'm opening a new form now. I'm trying to submit this form. What is it telling? Attachment is mandatory. When you try to submit the form, the glide ajax has called the script include. It has called the method. Inside the method, it has passed this record system ID to the script include. With that system ID, if there is an attachment or not, it has checked in the script include. If no attach found, it is sending as no attachment. If we receive the response as no attachment, we are showing this error message and we are stopping the form submission using return false. In the onSubmit line scripts, you should never use callback functions and asynchronous calls. You should always use synchronous calls. If you use asynchronous calls, it will not stop the form submission. It will first submit the form. Okay. You guys are clear, right? Okay. Fine. So we will discuss a few more examples. Hmm? I'm going to deactivate this one, guys, because it will always ask me to attach the attachment. It will consume some time. Okay. This caller is there, right? This caller, Uday Gadiparthi. This guy has already created 7 finance cases. 7 finance case records he has already created. But those were not still resolved. He is creating 8th one. If this Uday Gadiparthi has 7 finance cases records are already in the database, 8th record he should not be able to create it. When he is trying to create 8th record, the form submission should be stopped. Okay, if I select able tutor here, able tutor, there is a reference qualifier. I restricted looks like. Okay, we select able tutor here. Okay, I selected here as able tutor, right? So if able tutor has already, 7 records, 7 records created in the finance case table as a caller, 8th record should not be created. Getting my point? 8th record should not be created able tutor as a caller. You got my point? If he is trying to create the 8th record, we have to stop the form submission. So we'll take Uday Gadiparthi name. Okay. We'll go to the finance case table list. He has more than 7 records, 12 records. Uday Gadiparthi name as a caller, there are more than 7 records, 12 records. If he is trying to create another record, it should not allow him to create the record. Getting my point? First of all, I am going to the background script. I am querying the finance case table. Okay. Caller field name is u_caller. So Uday Gadiparthi system ID you have to take. In the interview, give me one example for onSubmit line script. When they ask the interview, you give the examples as if you have done this requirement in your organization. Give the same example. What is onSubmit line script? OnSubmit line script will run every time when you try to submit the form. When they ask you, give me one example. I have to make attachment mandatory on the form. For that, I wrote a onSubmit line script. So I passed the system ID of this form to the script include, and then I got the status that the attachment is there or not in the database. If no attachment found, I am actually stopping the form submission. You give the same example as if you have done it in your project. Some majority people, guys, so many people don't know that. Even interviewers also, I faced one interview during that time. Majority interviewers, they thought that once a record is created, system ID will be generated. Once a record created, system ID will be generated. Even without creating the record also, system ID will be there on the form. See this record, did I create this record? No. Still you can get the system ID of this particular form. You got my point? They will ask you, without creating record, how can a system ID is generated? System ID will be there on the form. Once a record is created, the system ID will be assigned. Getting my point? See what I told you, once a record is created, system ID will be generated, I told you, right? Now what I am telling is system ID will be there on the form. Once created, the system ID will be assigned to that record. Okay. So give the same example to your interviewer. Okay. Now we'll come to the requirement. Caller as a Uday Gadiparthi. How many records are there? We will actually get the count, guys. ds.print gr dot get row count method. This will give you the count, guys. In the finance case table, Uday Gadiparthi as a caller, how many records are there? It will give you count. 12 records it is telling. Is that true? Same logic. I am going to write it in the script include. Okay. In place of this system ID, we are using this dot get parameter in call. Mention it. Save this. I am going to create a onSubmit line script now. Right click configure client scripts. Okay. Sorry, here it should not be this or get parameter here. G underscore form dot get value. Which field value we have to take? Shekhar, which field value, man? Don't follow the crowd. U underscore color. Okay. So in the onSubmit line scripts, can we use callback function? Shekhar, can we use callback function in the onSubmit line script? When do we use callback function? Can we use asynchronous calls in the onSubmit line script? Can we use asynchronous calls in the onSubmit line script? Tell me, speak out. You will have to speak to the international clients, You'll have to speak to Europeans. You'll have to speak to Chinese. You'll have to speak to Japanese. You'll have to speak to Australians. You'll have to speak to African. You know that? And why are you not speaking out? Speak out, man. Why can't we use asynchronous calls in the onSubmit line script? Hmm. 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 So in the onSubmit line script, which one is good practice then? See, you understand half of the concept clearly. You did not understand. You see, you told whatever is right. We use callback functions in the asynchronous calls. If you use asynchronous calls, it will not wait. Then we should use synchronous call. Synchronous calls will wait. In the onSubmit line script, the form has to wait. Hmm? Shekhar, you are a professional. Act like a professional. You are not going to speak to your native members anymore. You'll have to speak to international clients. Huh? Hmm? So the response is greater than or equal to 7. Add error message. So to stop the form submission, we have to use return false line. Got my point? Hmm? I am going to refresh the form now here. Hmm? Who is the caller that we selected? Abhay, right? Abhay has no 7 records in the finance case. We will try to do it with a Uday Gadiparthi name. Somewhere we did a mistake. In the client script, there was a red mark here. That is because we have used extra this one. What is it telling? It has stopped the form submission, right? So if I select Abraham Lincoln, so Abraham Lincoln doesn't have more than 7 records as a caller. We see that. Abraham Lincoln, only 5 records. It will allow me to create two records. Hmm? Okay. 7 records are already there, right? 8th record I am trying to create. What is it telling? Caller has more than 7 records as a caller. Please work on them. Okay. Okay. Well, here I'm going to deactivate this script, guys. Do you remember from the incident will create the problem? From the incident, we will create the problem. Like incident has problem attached. Like incident has problem attached. Similarly, to this finance case also, I am attaching a problem. I am attaching a problem here. Okay. So we have attached a problem. This problem is in the new state. Okay. Remember, what is this? Like incident has problem attached. Finance case has problem attached. Okay. When you are trying to resolve this incident, if the problem attached, Okay. If the problem is in the resolved state, we should allow them to resolve. If the problem is not in the resolved state, we have to stop the form submission and say that problem is still in the problem is still in the open state. Please close the problem first. Getting my point? Okay. Problem sys underscore id. We will take the problem system ID here. Okay. I am taking the state value. Not one means new. Choice value it is giving. Hmm. So 101 means new. 103 root cause analysis. 102 means SS. 106 means resolved. Okay. I am going to take this particular script out. Going to the script include. Is problem resolved? Okay. So I am going to create a on submit line script. Right click. Configure client scripts. I am going to create a on submit line script. Okay. Is problem resolved on submit line script? First of all, if the state is resolved, we'll check. So finance case form state choice values we'll see. Resolved means 6. If state equal to 6. Okay. First thing. Second thing, we'll have to take the problem field value. Okay. If problem equal to if problem equal to no. Problem not equal to empty. Problem not equal to empty. Okay. Then we have to write glad Ajax. This script include name, as the method name score form dot get value are in here, right? We can pass this one. Why do we have to write multiple times? It is a on submit line script. Doing this callback function, get XML weight. GA dot get answer to 106. 106. 106 means resolve. Not 106, not resolve. G underscore form dot add error message. The associated problem is in open state. Please resolve the problem. To stop the form submission, we'll use return form. Getting my point? I'm going to refresh the form now. So this record has associated problem. First of all, I'm trying to submit, resolve this one. I'm trying to submit this one. First of all, it will check if it is in the resolved state or not. After that, associated problem is attached or not. Okay, associated problem is attached or not, it will check. Okay, then Somewhere we are doing the mistake. It should be in the single quotes. Okay. Still issue is there. We'll keep the alert here. Somewhere the mistake is it is not at all executing this line. Yeah, we can check the logs as well. This line itself is not executed, means J dot get answer. is active on submit line script. Double equal to will not check the data types. Triple equal to will check the data types. That doesn't have, that isn't a problem. State is resolved. What is this? It looks like it is not going inside the script. Hmm. Somewhere issue is at this line. Hmm. Somewhere at the line is the issue is actually issue is actually at the fifth line. It is giving nothing. The field name is u underscore state, guys. That is the issue. Understand, right? Because just because we have taken the field name as state, it is actually u underscore state. That is the mistake that we have done. So what I have done, I have kept line by line till which line it is running. We will see our logic will work or not. The associated problem is in open state. Please resolve the problem first. Okay. So mistake is here we did not keep u underscore. It is actually showing the error message. It is stopping the form submission. Okay. The mistake that we have done is, in place of g underscore form dot get value state, we have kept u underscore state. Then the logic that we wrote is working now. Now I am again trying to submit the form. Okay, what is it telling? The associated problem is in open state. Please resolve the problem. So that is how you will write the onSubmit line scripts, guys. So in the onSubmit line scripts, first of all, you have to majorly remember 3 points. It will run before the form submission. One thing. Second thing, in the glide Ajax, you should use synchronous calls. Third thing is, to stop the form submission, we'll use return false. That's it. Okay. Okay. Guys, we'll be starting UI actions topic in tomorrow session. So more answered client scripts, that is not an important one. That is not an important one. So then we will start UI actions in tomorrow session. Okay. So guys, when you are giving the interviews, tell them these examples that you have done in your project. Same examples, frame it. Write it in a write it in a notepad or notebook. Explain the same things. How do you did it? When they ask you how you did it and all, you can explain the same things. Okay. Okay, guys, then see you there in tomorrow session. Thank you all.